Alright, what is up, my beautiful people? Today we are doing Isreal Adesanya's strength and conditioning. I guess he just posted a video before he returned to the UFC. Today we're going to be watching that. Let's get right to it.
Coaches that look like that. Never trust the skinny chef, always the fat ones. And for strength coach, you gotta just take a look.
My name is Adesanya Beckley from Base Benefit. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. So what we try to do is to build a complete athlete. It doesn't matter what sport it is, we just have to make sure you can operate properly without you getting hurt and you being able to operate at the highest level of.
I'm still not over him just saying that you need a fat chef. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But he just glanced over that. Some alternating dumbbell press here. He's very veiny.
My name is Adesanya Beckley from Base Benefit. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. We came up with the name because I was trying to figure something out that tells people that we build all the way from the base. You know, it takes a few months to actually build your base and then build on top of the base. When you have a solid base, it's easy for any coach to just build on top of that without being scared that the structure is going to come down, you know? So what we try to do at Base Benefit is to build a complete athlete. That's pretty much what we do. Yeah, it doesn't matter what sport it is. We just have to make sure you can operate properly without being scared of you getting hurt and you being able to operate at the highest level of competition, really.
Not bad. Some stage one. I hope this isn't stage one though. I have to assume Adesanya's past that. With you.
So what we're doing here, if you watch the way he goes, we try to make him stay on his toes. And then you see the third set of plates. They're a little bit higher. So the main aim of that is when he hits the floor, he needs to stay on the ball of his feet and just to fire the soleus and fire his tendons. So his tendons need to stay nice and tight, so he just pops off the floor. That is one of the things that I've seen to lack a little bit in a lot of fighters. It's just when they hit the floor, they just spend too much time on the floor. So we just try to, work on that pop.
Some explosiveness. Not terrible.
Just trying to look for that reactive part of the plyometrics. It's not very high right now because we're still far out of camp. All right, so what we're doing here is we're just trying to, keep him strong and a long lever. Just get him to be under tension on that very, very, the longest part of his lever and then get him to power back up.
So far, not terrible. He's focusing more on plyometrics, explosive movements, which isn't a bad thing. Personally, if I were training him as an athlete, I would say separate the two. If you want him to be really quick getting up from getting knocked down, simulate him getting knocked down a few times, have him get right back up as fast as he can, and that's one rep. Just one rep as fast as you can, get up. Wait 1 minute, go down on the ground again, get up as fast as you can, 1 minute. I'll add some weight to that. I would say that would be definitely more situationally preparing than this here. Nothing wrong. Obviously, he's probably got a top-end coach here. Secondly here, when I'm watching these, when he was just doing those RDLs with the kettlebell there, I personally would, again, reduce the reps. It looked like he was doing something like 10, 12, more like a hypertrophy rep range. When you're focused on power and strength, if you're going below 6 reps, you're doing something wrong. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're doing more than 6 reps, you're doing something wrong. You're no longer causing the adaptation for strength and power there. Strength and power is maximum output. You're not putting out maximum output if you're getting 15 reps.
So that's the same thing we're doing here as well. It's just a long lever at a deficit lunge to just try to get him to shoot that hip up sooner. It's just one of the things, again, that I've seen that is hard for me to explain to fighters to do. It's like driving your hip up and generating the force from your hip and your glutes rather than just their quads. A lot of them tend to just extend their knees first before the hip starts to kick in. And as soon as you do that, the muscle is lengthened, there's less force coming out of it. So you want to stay compact until you get to that, to that top.
Again, same critique here. More of a hypertrophy block there. Definitely not wrong to get people to connect with their hips. If you're on like a NASM stage 1S training here, I would say there's better ways to do it than with this lunge. You can use resistance bands, or you could use a Pilates reformer. Lots of different methods to get it going. I'm sure this one works as well. I would just personally probably stick to the bands. That's my forte there, getting the muscles activated. Secondly, I'm seeing him still, same thing. He's doing like 10 reps. I think I even saw him drop the kettlebell and keep going after that. Muscular endurance and hypertrophy, great for that. Absolutely amazing. But if you want somebody to be practicing their strength power, they're going to need dumbbells probably 3 times the size. They need them doing maybe 5 reps max. Like I said, and even he said it too, they're not recruiting all the proper muscle fibers, a lot of fighters. But if you force somebody to do heavy weight that they can only do for 3 reps, and they're doing that for 1 or 2 reps, they're recruiting all of their muscle fibers because they need every single muscle fiber to fire in order to even lift that weight.
I've got 4 days with him now, 2 days of actual weights and then the other day of aerobic and then anaerobic. So what we're doing here is the accessory day where we do unilateral stuff and a lot of the accessories. So that's just unilateral chest press. Again, like I said, today is just the day of accessories and just unilateral. We've done the whole squats, bench and all that proper strength building on Tuesday. But we have to hit the same muscles twice a week. So I don't want to do the same thing twice a week, just one at a time and just hitting it separately.
So, big thing on frequency there. I mean, he's right and he's wrong. He's right in that you can switch up your training there, right? Especially unilateral movements. I'm sure that's great for a boxer, a fighter, making sure he doesn't have any imbalances. As far as not being able to hit the same thing twice a week, maybe I don't understand because I'm not also boxing 6 days a week, or I'm not kickboxing all the time. But here, what I'm recommending is if you're strength building, you honestly do need 2 times a week. Some things like bench press, you can even do 3 times a week. A lot of these like squats, deadlifts, things like that. I mean, it's great that he's getting them in a different form, and I'm sure that helps in its own way. But if you really want to get good at something strength-wise, you got to be doing like 5 to 15 sets at least a week. And I'm 100% sure they did not do 5 sets of bench press or more on their first training session. That would have left him gassed for his boxing. So me personally, I think it's smarter to actually break that up. Something like 2 days, 3 sets bench press, 3 sets dumbbell bench. That's 12 sets total, 6 sets each day. You'll leave yourself with a little bit of room for your boxing and your conditioning training as well. And then just do that conditioning, that mobility work on the side. You don't have to combine the two.
So same thing here, unilateral as well, but you see this one is a lot of anti-rotation because naturally your body wants to rotate to pull that kettlebell up, but you have to just try use your core and just transfer the weight just through your core rather than opening up the whole body. Same thing there, we're just going heavier and heavier because it just feels comfortable. And I'm happy with the form, so if he says he wants more load, I put more load until I'm not happy with the form.
That one looked good. I saw 3 reps there. I don't know how many he actually did, but I saw 3. Oh.
4, 3,
You know, people might clown on him here saying, oh, why isn't he doing pull-ups, chin-ups? Honestly, the rings are really, really hard. I've used the rings before. They're a humbling experience, 100%. I thought he was about to do a chin-up, and I was about to call him a beast. But even a dead hang off of the rings is still, like, no weight, 5-second dead hang, that's a challenge. Not too many people are doing that.
With the pull-ups, it's very important. When you're in clinch, you're pulling down. You know, the lats need to be strong. So that's what we're doing here. Just 5 seconds down, and then we
okay, but I was just gassing this guy up, this coach, man. So I do not mind eccentrics here. Eccentrics are actually a really, really important part of the muscle building process. They actually build more muscle than the concentric there. So it is nice to get a nice stretch, and something like this would build you a ton of muscle. Now, he's saying he's using this for strength for the clinch. I honestly don't know how much I agree with that there. You're doing negatives here, so he is building that negative strength, a lot of holding, maybe muscular endurance, and that, I mean, clinch work is a lot of holding people down, right, or a lot of resisting, a lot of pulling. I would think that adding some concentric here, though, would definitely help. Again, keep it in that 1 to 5 rep range. Even if he wanted to keep something similar to do this and do just 1 rep, boom, as fast as you can, explosive up, and really control it down. But again, for strength, the thing that really matters is getting that weight up. So I would personally rather see him do 3 reps of a regular pace than to do this long 5-second dead hang. He's definitely struggling, though. It's hard. He trains hard. I'll give him that.
So again,
practicing the B Diddy here.
Generate force, you know, coming from the core. Just a lot of snap from the core there. So we're just trying to keep the body, you know, firing at a high velocity.
Good stuff. Oh, yep. I told you he was practicing the B Diddy, bro.
Your chain to snap up, same thing. There's, you know, back extensions, which is when your back is actually getting extended, but here I want him to generate all the force just from the glutes. Again, another thing that I see that lacks in a lot of fighters, snapping from the glutes rather than from the quads.
Have a good life.
No, I was actually going to critique that and say he could be going down a lot further. If you're going for mainly the glutes, maybe they're doing some sort of isolation training. That's not terrible. I actually love that machine for glute training specifically. So not too bad there, focusing on the glutes. Wrapping up, though, it looks like that's about the end of the video here. I'm seeing his outro cutting out there. The full video for this is on his YouTube, Isreal Adesanya's YouTube, from Stylebender. If you guys want more of this, though, I will have more on my channel as well. Tomorrow we'll have another review. Have a great day.